So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about a relatively new fountain pen, and that is this, the Amazon Basics refillable fountain pen. Amazon's been selling this pen for, I don't know, maybe about 6-7 weeks now. I've owned it for a month. It costs $10, and you could buy it directly from Amazon.com. It's sold in a medium tip and a fine tip. I have it in medium. It's a steel nibbed fountain pen, and again, it's available on Amazon Prime for $10. Very easy to find, very easy to track down. I'll have a link at the bottom. The pen was a bit of a surprise because, like, Amazon Basics makes, paper towels and toilet paper and batteries. I didn't think they would have jumped into the fountain pen market, but I guess they looked at the market and figured they could do it better or cheaper than someone else. So here it is. The pen comes in a pretty nondescript paper gift box. It includes some instructions like this, just very basic type stuff, and 2 refills. The refill is a standard international type refill, so very easy to replace. It's actually Amazon branded, so you presumably could buy more of these. I haven't looked into it, but it's just a standard refill, and it comes with 3 of them. 1 is in the pen now and 2 extras. As far as the pen itself goes, it's a pretty simple pen. To my eye, it looks a lot like a cross, maybe even a Waterman, but more of a cross to me. It is pretty simple. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches length. That's capped. It does post. It is only sold, from what I could tell, in this sort of black enamel finish. It's a metal pen, chromed grip section, so pretty simple, pretty good looking. Very simple steel sprung clip. It actually says Amazon Basics on it, so there is a little bit of branding, but not a whole lot to see. It's a fountain pen. You wanted a fountain pen? Here's a fountain pen. $10. It comes in black. Any color as long as you want black, as the saying goes, and very simple steel nib. All it says on the nib is M or F, presumably. All plastic parts as far as the the feed goes, but everything else is metal. Even the top is all metal, so that's nice. Opening the pen up, we could see it is all metal, so the build construction is in keeping with something like the Pilot Metropolitan, not something like the newer Pilot Explorer. And there's that short international cartridge, and you can put another one in there if you want, so you could have 2. Like usually you do one in there upside down and the second one like this, so you have enough ink to get you through a day. As I noted, it does post. It doesn't feel super secure on there, but it's on there pretty well. No rattle, anything like that. It's really plain. There's just the minimum amount of design possible went into this thing. It's not a screw cap. It's a clip-on or a click cap, but it stays on well. No rattle. So there's really nothing you could take away from the build quality of the pen. It's just like a nondescript pen. It's actually pretty good looking from like a tuxedo standpoint with that black and silver, but again, it doesn't really resonate with me. It just looks too plain. But the cap goes on and off well, good click, and all that, so I can't really take too much away from it. From a comparison standpoint, $10 for an all-metal pen is really tough to get at. The closest comparison would be this, the Pilot Metropolitan, which is more or less metal. This is plastic, this piece is plastic, but it's largely metal, and they're similar in size. This is more of a this has the flat ends and a less of a tapered design. This is more of that torpedo design, so you want to keep that in mind. The Metropolitan is a little bit shorter. Here's like a Platinum Preppy rather, which is a larger, cheap pen, but it's all plastic. Also, it sells for like $3, but still, I would say it's a pretty good alternative to the Amazon Basics. And then this is a cross. I'm blanking on the name of it, But this is, in my eyes, when I pick this up, this is the closest comparison to this Amazon Basics. This is plastic here, but metal cap. And just like for when you look at the nib and sort of the overall design, they just look really similar to me. Like, I'm not sure if Cross makes this pen for Amazon, or maybe they're just made at the same factory. You can see the feed is a little bit different, and the grip is a lot larger on the Cross, so it's not necessarily a Cross product, but again, they just strike me as being very similar. Like maybe when Amazon was designing the product or having it spec'd out at the factory or the OEM or whatever it is, they had in their mind to go after the $10 Cross accent or whatever it is called. I'm blanking on the name. As far as the writing quality goes, I would say the Amazon pen is okay. I haven't had any serious problems with it, but it does tend to write a little bit dry for me. And I've used it for a month now, so there's been a lot of different types of paper. This is just a cheaper Moleskine, kind of something you would expect to use with a $10 pen. Like, if you're buying a $10 fountain pen, you're probably thinking about your paper, but you're probably not going ahead and buying a really expensive, fancy notebook. Again, just making generalizations here. So this is the Amazon Basics fountain pen. They call it the refillable. This is really messy. This is the Amazon Basics refillable fountain pen. This is in the medium. It's also sold in fine. I haven't tested the fine out. I just figured I'd get the medium just for a more predictable writer. And I have not really played with the nib too much, but I have given it a couple good flexes just because when it got to me, it was writing really dry. And for a medium, like an American medium or a European medium, it just seemed like it wasn't giving me the ink flow I wanted. And particularly as I was doing like sort of an upstroke like that, as a lefty, it's hard to get a sufficient amount of ink. So I tend to push a little bit and try to get more flow going. And at this point, it's at a pretty good, it's pretty consistent writer. No hard stops, and it's able to do those quick upstrokes with no problem. So I don't find this pen to be very fun to write with just because it's kind of lacking character to me, and the nib has less character even than a Pilot Metropolitan. Not that this is a bad pen, it's just a little bit nondescript relative to some of the other pens I use, but I do prefer the nib of the Pilot Metropolitan. Mine's a little scratchy, but I do prefer the Pilot overall. It's funny, this is a Pilot Metro in medium that I've done a lot of work to because I've had issues with it, and it's kind of my experimental tweak pen. And right now it is less smooth and more scratchy than the Amazon Basics, but I do actually tend to prefer the Metropolitan. I have a bunch of these, so it's not like I'm extracting everything just from this one. See other pens we have. This is the Cross, and this thing is, I think this thing's a little gunked up. This one needs some cleaning. I'll skip that. And for the money, it's still pretty much impossible to beat the Platinum in my mind. This is the Platinum Preppy medium. I really do like writing with this pen. To me, this is fun. Has a lot of character for a $3 steel nib, and the medium is a nice wet nib. I prefer this pen over the Amazon Basics, but I realize some people just want some heft to it, in which case the Basics offers a lot of weight, which it is all metal. So it is definitely an acceptable writer. I find it to be a little bit bland, but it gets the job done. Uses standard refills, so no problem there. and it will write all day, no problems. It'll keep up with you, and I find the pen to be relatively comfortable. I don't like it posted because it is metal and it gets a little top heavy. And then, sorry about that, uncapped, or unposted, it's a little bit small, but definitely not terrible. Uncapped, it is 1, 2, 3, 4.5, a bit over 4.5 inches, maybe like 4.75 inches. So reasonable size, but not huge. You could check unsharpened.com for all the specs. Anyway, so that is the Amazon Basics pen. I would say overall it's worth $10, and it's worth picking up if you need a $10 pen, but probably worth it to get the Pilot Metro. I would say spend a few dollars more if you get this thing for like 12, 13 bucks instead of the Amazon. Get that. If you have access to the Platinum Preppy, to me, it's still a pen to get. Yeah, it's light. Yeah, it's plastic, but it's more fun to write with than the Basics. But Basics is pretty nice. Comes in a gift box. It's metal, and if like those are the things you're looking for, like those are your criteria, then it definitely gets the job done. Thanks for watching.